All right, guys, it's that time. You are on the Flip with Rick channel. And today we're talking about the massive, massive opportunity for wholesaling in 2025. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is a live stream for you. My name is Rick Ginn. I've been wholesaling 21 years, and I've never been more excited in my life than 2025 for the opportunity that wholesaling presents. You see, I've been doing this a long time and I have watched this build up. So today we're going to go through why 2025 is going to be probably your biggest opportunity to join the wholesale community and massively change your life. I'm going to walk you through step by step the changes I see. And most importantly, we're going to focus on you, the wholesaler, on things you need to look for and the opportunities that are going to be in front of you. So do me a favor, use the comments, introduce yourself. Let us know where you're from, what market you're doing. Why not make a friend while you're in here? This is the best place. It's a safe place. We only talk about wholesaling. So if you have another agenda, it's not going to work in this one. And so that is what we're going to focus on today. So let me jump onto it and let's get into it. What's up, man? Awesome. So if you guys, unless you've been living under a rock, if you decided what the changes were, that America made a pretty big decision to make changes in 2025. But I'm not here to talk about politics. We're here to talk about wholesaling because that's the only party I vote for, wholesaling and family. And if you're like me, we just need to know how it's going to affect our changes. So specifically, we're going to talk about wholesaling. So the reality is, let's face it, guys, change is coming. Hold on, let me fix this here. Where'd I put that? Okay, I got it. Okay. As I said, change is coming in 2025. So obviously, unless you're on a rock, you know that the administration's switching over and a lot of things are going to change. And I'm here to tell you is for the last 4 years, wholesaling's been tough. It's been challenging, specifically the last 2.5 years. And the reasons were obvious. Obviously, we had a very heavy government regulated administration. We've also had very, very high interest rates. In fact, I don't know about you, but the rates just kept going up, and that discourages your end buyers, which is going to be who? Your cash buyers that buy our contracts, your fix and flippers. And most importantly, the in demand on the product of wholesaling, meaning once we wholesalers sell it to the fix and flipper, they sell it to the end user. If they don't have enough demand and activity, then they're less likely to buy from people like you and me, which are wholesalers. And honestly, that's been weighing heavily, heavily, heavily on the wholesaling industry, really for the last 2.5, let's call it the last 3 years. In fact, we've had such headwinds that there's been an effect. And here's the truth of the matter. If you got into wholesaling really in the last 2.5, really 3 years, and you survived, I'm here to tell you, you got what it takes. Because here's what happens. When wholesaling gets challenging, the only reason it's challenging is because people do not understand the fundamentals of wholesaling. And so what happens is, like when the tide goes out, you expose the people that truly don't do wholesaling. Wholesaling is nothing more than buying deep discounted properties and then selling them to cash buyers your contract. That's it. That's all it is. And somehow we've got all these crazy techniques and insanity mixed up into it. Now we're going into MLS and we're chasing down on-market deals. And guys, that was never part of wholesaling. People are reaching, they're desperate to sell courses, and you are the end product. It's easier to flip students than it is to flip properties. And so what happens is when the buyers dried up, the interest rates went up, capital dried up, a crazy thing happened. The people that didn't truly know how to wholesale, they left the business. In fact, they bailed. And what did they do? It doesn't work. I'm getting killed. Guys, all a smoke screen for saying I'm not very good at wholesaling. Wholesaling is not hard, but it is definitely not for the faint of heart. So I think that the last 2.5, 3 years has done the entire wholesaling industry a huge favor. Now, before, if I opened up my browser, I would be inundated almost every other weekend or late weekday with some sort of seminar, specifically with wholesaling. Now, you can't find them nearly as much. In fact, most people have quit doing the seminars because it's not super profitable for them anymore. And so they stop. The reality is they are in the business of flipping you instead of learning wholesaling. I love what the last 3 years have done to the wholesaling community because it has washed out all the wannabes, the people that want a quick money. These are what I call sprinters. And so now when the dust is settled and the tide's going to come back, you have to make a choice. Who are you going to align yourself with? The people that survive the tougher times? Or do you want to keep running the people that seem like they hit it out of the park every time there's like an uptick in the market? Wholesaling works every type of market. So those that can only make it work in great markets, they are not true wholesalers. And you have to identify that and understand that. If you know that, it's going to be so easy to navigate in 2025. Look at the people that either somebody brought you in the wholesaling, maybe a company brought you in, and see specifically if their founders are still there. I already know the answer to this. I already told you, wholesalers made up of two types of categories. You have the sprinters, the ones that look great. They're very polished. They put on beautiful seminars. Every video is perfectly cut and captured. And then they have like, they turn it in, like they think they're late night talk show hosts and they talk about cars and everything else. Those are sprinters, guys. Those are the ones that will never survive this business. And honestly, you're kind of wise to decide who you're going to do business with. Now, the other side of it are what I call the marathon wholesalers. These are the people that day in, day out, they always survive wholesaling. They're really good at it. It doesn't mean they don't have losses, but they stick to their core brand, which is wholesaling, which is what myself and Zach do. This is what we do. It's who we are. It is in my DNA. I think I was born this way. I'm afflicted with it. It serves my ADHD well. So if you understand the difference between a marathon wholesaler and a sprinter wholesaler, you can quickly identify who you're going to align with. And this isn't like a winner take all type of deal. If you get benefit and somebody teaches you wholesaling and they teach you the true fundamentals of the three core areas of wholesaling, God bless them. If they make you a better wholesaler, God bless them. The problem is when they pull you in all these different directions and try this technique, try this paperwork, the word try does not work in wholesaling. You do. So you got to avoid people that tell you to try and focus on people that teach you how to do. The best way they do is they just lead themselves. So we have to understand that. So, okay, I'm checking out your comments as we go. So change is coming. I've already told you what the last 3 years have brought to the wholesaling world. I believe it's done us a service. When the tide goes out, you can pick up the dead fish, you can do whatever you want, but why not work with the winners, the ones that actually gravitate towards wholesaling, the ones that don't talk about digital coins, NFTs. We don't talk about buying side hustle businesses. We want to generate cash in wholesaling. Most of you are trying to get freedom of your time and also, most importantly, financial freedom. That's what I got into it for, and that's what I will always approach you on. So we understand that, right? Tide's gone out. Tide's coming back in. This is 2025. You're at the shoreline. You've got decisions to make. And here's the truth, guys. I am predicting a massive wholesaling boom in 2025. And I'm not only, listen, I don't predict, I just look at the data. So if you want like a full prediction, go Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Let Robert Kiyosaki's predicted a meltdown in real estate for the last 10 years. It's never come to fruition. So I'm not a financial educator. I am a wholesale guy. That's what me and Zach do. And I want you to understand that. So I don't make predictions. I look at data and then I point my wholesale compass, and 2025 is screaming wholesaling is going to be absolutely on fire. And I'm going to tell you why. So let's just go over and like state the brutal obvious, and then we're going to get into details of why you, the wholesaler, can massively win in 2025. So we already know interest rates are going down. This has really been the Achilles tendon for all wholesalers because we try to sell to who? Fix and flippers. They all get capital from the banks, HELOCs, whatever you want to do it, their own money. And there is a cost to it. The longer they have to keep that money in play, the more it costs them. Well, interest rates got up there 8, 9%. I'm talking about on traditional bank money. And we've been used to 2 and 3% loans for the longest time. That really caught up to us really at the end of this year. And finally, we've just had 2 federal rate cuts, and we have a new administration coming in. And what does that mean for this, guys? When interest rates go down, capital goes up. So I'm looking to employ much more capital just in my own businesses. And I am just one entrepreneur. Imagine all the fix and flippers. Imagine all the developers. All these people right now are planning based on the outcome of the election on what they're going to do with their capital come 2025. And you know what? They got an absolute green light to go crazy in 2025. And honestly, for the next 4 years. The question is, are you going to take advantage of this massive opportunity? But I just stated the obvious, okay? So capital is going to flood the market. It has to because it's been sitting on the sideline for 3 years plus. I know this for a fact. I have multiple projects that I've been waiting for a reasonable interest rate to fund multi-million-dollar projects. You can't just throw 8, 9% money because a lot of times it will put such pressure on the returns, the cap rates, that you can't make it work. So number one, capital flooding the market means you, the wholesaler, is going to have more access to cash buyers, more capital, more cash buyers, more projects they want to do, which means they're going to aggressively bid on your wholesale deals, and you should have multiple offers. Now, this won't happen overnight, guys. In fact, most people, here's the reality, has been sitting on the sideline waiting for the outcome of the election. So now that's over. We just had another rate decrease. That's 2. And we're heading into 2025 with what I call the most important piece to this puzzle. You ready? Dude, consumer confidence is through the roof. People have never been more ecstatic to spend money in the United States than ever. Not even I think back 2016 to 20 is one of our greatest economic times. And now that we have people that have experience that know what to do with it, that really want to make this country better, I believe for a majority, not everyone's happy with it. I'm not here to talk politics, but for the most part, people want to move forward. And this crazy thing happens every year is we all age a little bit. I know I have. And the reality is people have to make decisions to live somewhere. A lot of people have been sitting on the sidelines waiting up to this election. Now they know exactly where interest rates are going. They know where the country's headed to. And the bottom line is confidence is through the roof. And confidence is one of the biggest indicator on where a real estate market's going to go. But we can't stop there. That's not the only piece of data we need to understand. Now, I'm not going to get in the weeds of like tariffs and all this other stuff, which could have an impact on it, because I'm trying to stick to the wholesalers' focus. Now, it is safe to say the new administration will be a pro-business environment. And what does that mean? Bottom line, much less regulation. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this because there's some very interesting things working on the sideline on this that could have an incredible impact on real estate and wholesaling as a whole. So number one, we talk about less government regulation. Guys, for the last 3 years, we have been inundated with the fear mongering that wholesaling is going to be banned. You can't do this. I'm here to tell you, man, when you have an administration that backs up current federal law, and then you have states that impede on our rights as wholesalers, I dare any of these states to take on this challenge, because at the federal level, they will. I strongly believe they will never win. Now, eventually we will have case law. I don't want any of you to be the case law. Even the people I don't like, I would never want them to be attacked by a district attorney or anything like that. It's just a waste of time and money. But guys, how many times have you heard, oh my God, wholesaling is going to be illegal. I got to be banned. There's just no facts in this. I get why it's done. You create enough fear, you can create a solution. It's one hell of a business idea, but the reality is I don't believe the federal government will push on anything, and I think states are going to frown upon trying to push these laws forward because they're not going to be supported past the state level. So, just my prediction, I don't think you're going to hear a lot about the wholesaling ban, and these videos are going to like disappear over the next couple of years, and it's about time. I think it's going to do us all a favor. I think it's helpful. The other part about less regulation is developers. Some of the regulations that have put forward in the last 3 to 4 years, absolutely crazy. Now, some of them are state, but some of the federal stuff's going to be rolled back, which is going to open the door for developers. So you guys doing vacant lands or you're doing plots of land, selling them off to developers, it's going to go hog wild. So wholesaling vacant land is going to be extremely attractive. And I want you to understand that because, guys, God only made so much land. People have a plan. The capital is going to be much cheaper. There's going to be more people bidding on it. This is the green light to go crazy on vacant land. So I would go all in. I would do single family homes. I would do multi. I would do absolutely everything. And you have to understand that. The other part of this equation, we talk about less government regulations. I know the new administration coming in is very, very, how do I say it? Pro turning Fannie and Freddie into a privatized funding. Now, I'm not going to get into the mechanics of what that does, but what that does is it lowers restrictions on laws that affect wholesalers, creative finance people just like you and me. In fact, if that were to happen, I think it would be very positive because they'd have to underwrite loans based on a business decision as opposed to a government backing. Some of these loans, 1% and 3%, there's just no skin in the game. And the problem is these government loans being backed is the last administration has pushed foreclosures off and they do everything they can to avoid a foreclosure. That's not how a real loan works. So by doing the privatization, if they decide to go that route, it frees up government regulations and then people have to make better business decisions. And then most importantly, you and me aren't hampered on subject twos as much, on creative financing laws, because there's no government oversight on the actual financing. A business either decides to make a loan or not, and they're not going to get into the fine print. Right now, if Fannie and Freddie decided to hit a switch and say, you cannot take over a subject to unless you satisfy that you have to remove the current debtor from it, which is physically impossible to do, it would basically wipe it out. And we have that hovering over us. Now, I'm not a politician, but I will tell you, privatizing Fannie and Freddie, in my opinion, takes a lot of the regulation away from it. And I think it opens up the opportunity for like the next 10 or 15 years to really go hog wild in wholesaling. We all agree that more government regulation is not the answer to help out the real estate community. So I believe in the next 4 years, you're going to see a lot of this stuff unwind. Developers going to go crazy. Vacant land's going to be really hot. And the cost of capital is going to be way down. Guys, these are all positive things. I don't have a crystal ball. I just got 21 years experience. Like the handwriting's on the wall, what's going to happen here. So less government regulation. Now, let me ask you, put in the comments, who really thinks real estate's going to have a crash? I truly want to know, because I'm going to put you up my prediction. And my prediction is based on data. It is not like my personal bias. I just look at the data and go, hey, which way is it going? Because you, the wholesaler, have to have an idea what's going to happen with supply and what's going to happen with demand. And we're going to talk about that right now because it is a crucial part of 2025. So real quick, Nicole, Fannie, which is Fanni, and Freddie Mac are basically government-backed securities that basically buy all the mortgages. And that's how people get loans at 1% and 3%, typically 3%, is the government guarantees them. So the banks will write them and then they sell them to the government and they exchange pools. It creates kind of an artificial environment. Think about student loans. The government backs student loans. Otherwise, no business would ever give them. If they privatize these two organizations, there would be stricter writing guidelines, but there would be more play in the debt, meaning We can assume the debt without without worrying about like upsetting the government or anything like that. So look it up, Fannie Freddie. It got us in trouble a long time ago. And anytime the government mess around with stuff, we have all types of crazy stuff. Now, I'm going to put something up here. And Steve's got a good point here. I'm not a blind eye. He's seeing a lot of price cuts lately. I want you to understand how real estate works. You guys know the minute the Fed Reserve or the current president or vice president, whoever you want, the minute they go and make a press conference, every word that comes out of their mouth massively affects the stock market. It just rocks the financial world. Real estate is a 6 to 18 month lag, period. So price cuts you're seeing are from moves made 3, 6, and 9 months ago. It's going to take time to wash through. So we are approaching, we're in mid-November. And by the time 2025 rolls around, just understanding the current changes that are made is when the impact's going to hit. Now, traditionally, real estate is typically soft from this time of year till about the second or third week in January. Don't believe me? Go look at the charts. You'll see the dips. It is like clockwork for the last 100 years. Every time from Thanksgiving to December to really mid-January, it's just people are occupied. They're spending time with family. They're going on trips, vacations, and they're spending their money on the economy shopping for gifts. God knows we buy too many gifts. So you can buy me more gifts. So you've got to understand that. So I agree. We're seeing price reductions in our local market, but the problem is this is reacting to stuff that happened 6 and 9 months ago. So if you look at any realtor's data, any of those reports, they're typically going to be 90 days behind. So if we understand that going into it, so Sebastian says right here, isn't wholesaling different? They're tied, buddy. Like regardless, the process is different. But at the end, a wholesaler takes a property. We fix a distressed situation. We sell it to a middleman, a rehabber, or somebody wants to live into it. And then they finish the project and sell it to who? The end user. If you do not have end user demand, it affects the wholesalers. We have to buy at deeper discounts and we have to fight harder. When you get more end user demand, wholesaling just gives you more options. Period. End of story. So if you understand that going into it, we still have to understand what the entire effect on the real estate market. And the whole point of this live stream is to work it backwards for you. So I'll keep you filled in here. So nobody's going to be bold enough to tell me which way, if they think a market crash is going to happen or not. So let me just kind of roll it out for you right here. Market crash, there's no way it can happen. Now, outside pending a world event, like a massive war or something like that, we're not even going to talk about that because we don't want any of that to happen. Outside like a tragic event, for the most part, all the data points that if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. I'm tired of the doomsdayers saying it's going to happen. Robert Kiyosaki has predicted since 2014, massive real estate crashes. Now, I like the guy. He inspired me when I was very young and read the books, but I mean, we're kind of out of touch with what's going on with the markets. But I get it. If you got to sell coins, that is your offset to real estate. And we've got to stop making the problem with people that make predictions. They make them every year. They only got to be right once and they look like superheroes. But you never know the nine out of the 10 years they got it wrong. And that's what drives me crazy with predictions in real estate. So let me tell you why it's not going to crash. I'm going to give you some basic facts. And if you understand this, you can make anything work. Now, here's what I'm going to do before I forget, because I get distracted. I am going to put in the comments, if somebody wants to hop on and do a one-on-one when I'm done here, it is a first come, first serve. It is in the comments under Rick Ginn. So I put that in there if you want to get on deck. Use it or lose it, baby. So we were talking about why market crash. Rick Ginn says nope. And that's it. Here's the problem. Big problem. What's the biggest problem real estate has right now as a whole that we haven't got out of since 2020? Anybody want to share in the comments? There's one huge underlying problem that has yet to been addressed. And we are in peril in the United States in this. I'm talking specifically in housing. I want to see if somebody gets this. Let's see here. Oh, I'm going the wrong way here. Dude, Steve's on fire today. He's right. Inventory is a disaster. I believe we're short almost 7 million units as a country. I want you to think about this. I'm even going to go a step further here. Kevin's correct on this, on the supply. And then Jonathan, he's hit it nail on the head. The affordability is a massive problem. So Jonathan has nailed this in one snapshot, and this is what you want to focus in as a wholesaler. We have an inventory shortage deficit, and we have an affordability problem. Not a good combo, in my opinion, and you've got to understand that, because if, good Lord, okay, it's a weird, unique problem. And in my 21 years of wholesaling, we've never had this dichotomy of what's going on. So let's go back and talk about the problem and where we see it on it. So we still have a housing supply shortage. This has been going on since the pandemic days. Why? Think about this, guys. We had such historically low interest rates. Then we had crazy, crazy equity spreads. And now what do people have? They have options with their home. Their little home they bought for $100,000 is worth $400,000. Guys, these people are not going to be giving their homes up to foreclosure anytime soon. But I'm telling you, in 2025, they're going to need the help of a wholesaler. One that's educated, that's a great listener, and that can solve problems. If that's you, you're going to be perfect for wholesaling in 2025. I'm telling you, it's going to be massive. This here, right here, with the housing shortage, if you guys took basic economics, right? If you take basic economics, you understand you cannot have a price crash if you don't have inventory. If I have 1,000 PlayStations and I've got 1 million customers, there's no way the price on a PlayStation is going to crash. It's the exact same principles in real estate. Does everybody understand that? Now, if we had massive supply, I think we would have some huge hiccups coming. But let's think about this, guys, for a second. Think about this. So what's happened since 2020, and now we're at the end of 2024? Most people have held back. They've got a ton of equity in the house, and they don't want to give up their cheap interest rates. So what are they waiting for? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. They're waiting for interest rates to drop. And the thing is, it looks like the Fed's on pace to drop a quarter point, I don't know, like 3 or 4 times in 2025. I did an entire video on this. The target rate is going to be 4.5 to 5.25%. So right now we're hovering somewhere in the 6. I don't know exactly. Somebody can post it. They can look it up for me. That'd be great. But so what does that mean? We got the slingshot effect going on. All these people have been sitting on the sidelines. Election's over. I know where interest rates going. I have a lot of confidence in the economy. Capital's cheaper. It's infusing, and I'm getting more bidding wars on it. Guess what? It is going to open up the floodgates. Think about this, guys. I want you to wrap your head around this one. This part's absolutely crazy. Watch. This statement right here was all you need to know about 2025. Demand is going to exceed supply in 2025. Now, I'm not an economics professor, but I'm a businessman, been in business over 21 years in wholesaling. This is the greatest news you could ever have. Now, the really cool part is more inventory is going to be released in 2025 than we've had really in the last few years. So you are going to have, so everybody understand this statement. If demand exceeds supply, you can't drop prices. Now, there can be pockets, but for the most part, the predictions are price increases across the board, 1 to 4%, depending on what part of the country you're in. Now, the biggest red flags I saw are going to be in Utah and Florida. The problem is they've had such a massive price increases in the last 2 years, even during the downtime. There's not much. I don't know if there's much more room to go. So the bottom line, guys, if you understand this statement, like I'm not making a bold prediction, I'm giving you facts. We already have an exhausted inventory. Now, inventory is going to increase, but here's my prediction. The offset of more inventory, which is more opportunity for you, the wholesaler, because now you have more people making decisions. Thank God. Because before this, they're all waiting for the elections, waiting for interest rates to drop. Once rates get around 5.25, 5.5, I'm going to pull the trigger. Well, everybody does that at once. And you have an amazing, amazing amount of things that are going to happen in wholesale. So that increase in inventory, which is going to go up, is going to be offset by the increased appetite because of the slingshot effect of real estate. People have been sitting on the sideline waiting for good news. Nobody wants to catch a falling knife. I've tried to catch it before. They want to wait till it hits the ground and then pick it up and carry it back up. 2025 is that ground level. Period. End of story. The bottom line is, guys, you're going to have a lot more transactions in real estate in 2025. What does that mean for you, the wholesaler? It's the best news you could ever get. Think about it. A lot of people have just been sitting and waiting and sitting. I got to wait for the elections. I got to wait for the Federal Reserve. I got to wait to see where the economy's going. I got to see if this recession is going to hit. You guys got sick of hearing about like the soft landing. There's no recession. Like we're done with this conversation. So the stock market's already exploded since the announcement of the results of the election. People are making moves. The question is, what moves are you going to make? You're at the end of 2024. Do not wait till January 1. I'm not going to let you make a bold New Year's resolution. Here's your resolution. It needs to start now. I'm here to tell you right now. Wholesalers, you're set up for the perfect opportunity in 2025. I've never been more excited in wholesaling ever. Like honestly, since the first year I started. And honestly, when wholesaling got really easy from 2013 to 2020, I was actually embarrassed for our industry. It was like a joke. I've never seen it. It was like you couldn't do anything wrong. And we lost all fundamentals of wholesaling. The ones that stuck to the fundamentals, they're doing business right now in 2024, right alongside me and Zach. The ones that lost it, they're not on the internet anymore. They don't post anymore. You can't post when it's convenient for you. I got 96 other things I need to do today, but I'm consistent. Me and Zach do not waver on putting out our message to you. Why? It's simple. We shoot. There's no teleprompter. I wish I could turn it around and show you. I don't believe in teleprompters. You got to tell people exactly how it is and how you feel about it to get the truth. A teleprompter, there's no truth in that. We all saw how teleprompters worked out for politicians, right? Comma, laugh here. You're never going to see that from me. I can't stand that. So if you notice the opportunity, what you guys got to understand is going into it, especially rolling in 2025, not only are you going to have the best market for wholesaling, you have more tools available to you than ever before in history. And I know we say that every year because when CoreLogic came out with ListSource back in the early 2000s, I thought I died and went to heaven. And I was paying between $300 and $700 per list. That's how exciting that information was. Then we move on to the days of getting more and more data. Actually, ListSource was cutting and I used it for almost 10, maybe 11 years. And then something better came along. And what do we have now? Right now, you can sit one-on-one with me and Zach and pick our brains, the people on the bottom, which I'm going to get to, I promise. Never before in history could you do this before. In fact, you guys had to pay massive, massive fees just to learn wholesaling. The world has changed. Technology is connecting with people. You got to decide, do you want to stick with the old school method where you pay the play, then you figure out, okay, that's what they're doing. And then you find out you get their best student. And then before you know it, you got to go find someone that actually tell you the truth about wholesaling. This is what freewholesaling.com was created for. And let me put it up here so everybody understands where to go to get the best information. Now, I find it so funny when people give me flack about, I can't believe you did a free site. There's no, dude, go in there. Everybody can tell you that's on this live stream. There is no catch. The catch is you have all the tools you need to be successful. And that's where I'm going with this. Do you understand? You have all the tools you need to be successful. You guys can do Zoom calls. YouTube is amazing. If you get the right information from wholesalers that teach the fundamentals. If you want someone that looks like really cool and they look like they have a late night show, I'm not going to be a good fit, nor is Zach. But if you want people that have a history in this business and survived every type of market, we're your people. And we want to let you know. So guys, when I started out Skiptracing, it was $1.50 per lead. And I gladly paid for it. I remember paying over $4,000 for one Skiptrace list. Now, a lot of you like, oh, that's nuts. Actually, it was a huge advantage back then because I was the only one doing it. And now we fast forward today. And now you guys get free Skiptracing. Like, seriously, you're getting free Skiptracing. How lucky are you to be on this planet Earth to get free Skiptracing? If you don't know how to do it, I'll show you how to do it in here. But like, guys, the world's changing. If you are paying for Skiptracing, you got problems because nobody else is paying for it anymore. The reality is the information is more readily available than ever, and you need to get phone numbers as fast as possible. Listen, when me and Zach started, we taught you how to do it the free way, which you can still do it. True People Search, cyberbackgrounds.com. But we created a software. The biggest frustration you guys have is Skiptracing, the cost and the energy it takes. Go to xleads.com. I got this solved for you. I'm not even going to do an advertisement. I'm just telling you. Free Skiptracing. I never thought in my wildest dreams it would come to this. Go to xleads.com. You get it with your basic account. You get 15,000 even for the basic. You'll be able to download and upload come December 1, and you can export your lists from another service and put them in XLeads, and it'll spit out the phone number for you and the email. Really cool stuff. So guys, what's your excuse now for not getting people's information? Listen, eventually people are just going to have to provide the services that people want. So the idea of creating XLeads was to give you guys more opportunity. I have never made it easier than ever. And honestly, we've busted our butts to take every excuse away from you, but you're going to have to do the work. If I give you 15,000 phone numbers, are you going to take advantage of it? I don't know. You tell me. Don't wait till 2025. Right now is 2025. Go ahead and reset your clock and get it going. Guys, now today, you don't have to stick to the basic Podio anymore. You have more advanced CRMs for automated follow-ups, for texting, and everything, voicemails. You have options. Podio was the most advanced thing I've ever seen that came out. And we buy apps, and listen, it's still a really cool company, but it's general. It's not made for wholesaling. Even I admit that. I know there's limitations to it. There are companies that will specialize in anything. Go High Level has really replaced Podio, in my opinion. And Podio is very old school. Unlocking it got us through about 10, 12 years of a rough time. But guys, this data is at your fingertips. It's definitely on your phones. What are you waiting for? There's very, very little cost for this stuff. Before you used to have to spend thousands of dollars, it's all done for you. And guys, don't even get me started on AI. Me and Zach have been talking all year about this. Artificial intelligence, it's here to stay. It's not going to go anywhere. And if anything, you embrace it now, especially in wholesaling. Your ability to automate your follow-ups and have conversations that a computer does for you without your input. I laughed when I first saw this 2-3 years ago. And honestly, I could not survive in my wholesaling business without it. When you have thousands and thousands of leads, you constantly have to have something to tickle that lead to see if we're in the right place at the right time to get the deal done. If you do it manually, which I know a lot of you watching this video do it manually, you're never going to cover every lead. So you got to set up automations to help protect. Remember how I tell you your job's to help you help the seller protect them against their own selves? I've created these systems as a wholesaler to protect you from some of the downfalls of wholesaling. Most of us are one man or one woman armies. And having some automation in there without hiring an employee will go a long way. Before, your only alternative was a VA. Now with the automations, you can have a lot of this stuff built in for you. It's all said and done. So, and One of the really cool thing in 2025, guys, you all have access to disposition software. Remember the old school way where we had to pull these lists and we had to like comb every realtor. We had to do this. Guys, one click of the button, you get the cash buyer's phone number, you get their email, you know exactly where they buy, you know how close they are to your deal. Before, this was only for the elite wholesaler. Hogwash. It's available. It's everywhere right now. Go ahead and shop it around. Check out X Leads. Check out all the different companies. If you're struggling with dispositions, use the software to help you. You're going to have to move with greater speed in 2025. You're going to have more transactions than you're used to. Whoever can get to the leads the fastest using AI, using a sophisticated CRM, pulling accurate lists, skip tracing the number, and then using Dispo, especially for you virtual. I could not survive doing my virtual markets without my disposition software and X Leads. Before, this used to be up to like $30,000 to $50,000. Prices are dropping. Guess who's instituted the price war? Guys, all this is available for you. I mean, this is the exciting part. And not to mention, how did this all start? With a movement with freewholesaling.com. We removed the paywall for you to actually get a high education in wholesaling. Go to freewholesaling.com. The highest quality of information you can get on how to get started in wholesaling, how to get up to your first $100,000. Before, this was a $10,000 to $20,000 cost. And thankful today that me and Zach have stuck to our guns and done it. We're into just over 4 years. It has never been better than it is right now. Now, you still got a lot of people that follow the coaching guru system. There are coaches that teach the coaches, and they brag about how much money they take out of your pocket, and they very rarely share client success. And I think it's ridiculous. If you're really such a good coach, stay in the field that made you an incredible coach, period. But coaching the coaches and recruiting people to pay you big ticket items with very little experience is not what the wholesaling community needs, and we have to avoid it. So how do we do that? Number one, freewholesaling.com. I've already given you, I'll give you the links to do that. Number two, coming in 2024, 2025, this amazing new thing that's come to fruition that's going to help you, the wholesaler. And if you haven't heard about this, you need to take advantage rolling into 2025. We are talking about Discord communities. Absolutely amazing. You guys work with such speed. This, in my opinion, is the best way to do a JV deal. Forget Craigslist, forget Facebook groups. This still works, but Discord, hands down, the speed, the clarity of the information, the ability to do voice drops, do audio, to do video, to do private groups, unbelievable. Now, some of these you have to pay for them. They got small fees, not a bad deal. So most of you have been looking at $10,000, $20,000 coaching packages. Some people have Discords for like 20, 30 bucks a month. Not a bad deal for a lot of you guys. Now, me and Zach got you covered. Go to zachdiscord.com. It's 100% free. We got over 10,000 members, and we want you to take advantage of it. We do a lot of JV deals in there. This has been new to me, so an old dog has to learn new tricks. If I have to do it, you have to do it. Going into 2025, I want to give you every tool that's humanly available to you so you can hit it out of the park. We can't just keep doing everything the same way we did it before. So you still have your wholesale communities and groups, which is a great place to network. Guys, here's the deal. You got to start now. Don't do this January 1. Now is the time. It's not tomorrow. Procrastination is going to take you out. You guys already have a problem with procrastination. Dedicate now. What do? Go over to freewholesaling.com. Just register your email, put your name in, and get started. You see the people on the bottom? They know how to take advantage of resources to them. Why do I not have like 300 people logged in right now? It confuses me. Like, I'm literally right here. Most people would pay me a ton of money, but you already know I'm here to help. It's not about money with me. The more successful I make everybody on this live stream, the more opportunities I have to do deals. So what are you waiting for? Like, honestly, I should get a notice that the whole thing's full, but I'm not. So the question is, are you going to make 2025 your wholesaling year? It's a simple question. And here's the best part is, your mom, your dad, your sister, your wife, your significant other, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your aunt, your uncle, your niece, your nephew, They can't answer this question. Only you can answer this question. Do you want more freedom of your time? Do you accept that working for a wage and trading your time, unfortunately, going into 2025, that math problem is not going to work out well for you? The reality is that this is going to sting a little bit, but I'm going to tell you the truth. If you're going to make less than 150,000 a year, really less than 125,000 a year, life's going to get very difficult. Now, that's even if you're by yourself. When we start talking about significant others and combined incomes and kids, look at the cost of housing. We talked about affordability earlier. If I tell you prices aren't going to go down, your house isn't going to get any cheaper. The average mortgage payment in the United States is $2,800 a month. Now, I can't figure out if that includes escrow payments, insurance, and stuff like that. But on average, that's 40% of your income. Think about this for a sec. You still got to do groceries, food, utilities, vacations, holiday gifts. People are struggling. This is why people have decided they want to make a change. And most people have voted with their pocketbooks. Remember, we are just looking at the wholesaling aspect of the changes that are going to happen. So I'm going to leave you with this, and we're going to jump on and we're going to answer a bunch of questions. Have a good time. Where will you be in 1 year from now? What I would do is I would write it down. If I was taking notes right now, I would write it down. Now, the good thing, it's recorded, so you don't have to worry about that. But where are you going to be in 1 year from now? Are we going to have this conversation at the end of 2025? You have to make a decision. My decision was made in 2003. Now, I had no idea what the hell was going on in wholesaling, and I found it by accident, and I just dove in head first. And I had a lot of pain, and I know a lot of you guys are feeling it. But with everything I've shown you today, I've shown you the data why 2025 is going to trend to be one of the best wholesale years, why the economy is going in the same direction it is, and then finally is, what are you waiting for? I think you're going to have the sweet spot, not only in 2025, for the next 4 years. And the question is, listen, the reality is, do I care who's president? I do. But at the end of the day, if the other party gets elected, I just move on with my life. Like, you're never going to have everything you want in life. And at the end of the day, the president, it takes so long for them to institute stuff that if you just go to work and you put in your 2 years, it doesn't matter what the president, their cabinet does. The question is, what do you do? So many of you guys live and die by like the president. Like, I get when you wear the shirts and stuff, but like, I don't do that. I support my country. I love my country. But at the end of the day, I vote Ginn number 1. I vote wholesaling number 2. That's how I do. And that's how I make my decisions when it comes to politics. Now, I'm all about capitalism. I don't believe socialism works, but I'm not here to get in that debate with you. We need to focus on 2025 and what are, most importantly, you have all the wholesale compass indicators pointing towards go. The question is, I always tell you guys, you got to help your sellers get out of their own way. Are you going to help yourself get out of your own way? Or are you just going to come up with another excuse why it can't work? I got into wholesaling why I had 2 small children, an overpriced house underwater, and I didn't know how I was going to make it. So I worked my job and I kept it going. And I decided I was just going to kick all my excuses to the door because they never served me before. And here I am, almost 22 years later, telling you this amazing gift. The question is, can you suck it up for 2 years? So if you got a good 4-year window and you know next year is going to be one of the best years in U.S. history for the economy, don't wait till everything's perfect, because it's never going to be perfect. Take that leap of faith now. Just go to freewholesaling.com, get started, take action. I don't care what it is. I showed you all the tools that are available to you today, and it's not thousands of dollars anymore. You can start at like $49. You don't have to hire employees. You don't have to do any of this stuff. The question is, where are you going to be in a year from now? So when you come on, I want you guys to announce exactly what you're going to do. Let me just check the comments, and I'm going to jump on the lives here. It says, I'll be having a beer with you and Zach in 1 year. Well, as long as it's an alcohol-free beer, I'm all about it. That's just, I made changes in my life. I don't really go that route, and Zach's never been a fan of it. So, but listen, I celebrate people. I don't care. I can drink ginger ale, apple juice, anything like that. But I would love to do that with you. I would absolutely, I would love to do it. And that, guys, that's why we do the 2 live events a year, so we can connect with you And that's what we want you to do. So, let's see here. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Okay. Awesome information. We do building supplies. Okay. Let's just jump into lives because most of you guys answered the question. So let's do first come, first serve. James, you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Good, man. What's up? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm in Columbus, Ohio.
All right. I see a jacket on there. Is it cold up there today?
Yeah, it's actually kind of hot in here, but I didn't come prepared. I jumped on here real quick and I was ready.
What's the temperature outside?
It's like 40, 48-ish.
See, like that's the coldest day of the year here in Florida.
Really?
And dude, we are like bundled up, shaking like violently. So
I've been down there. My cousin lives down there. She did travel nursing, so I went down there over the last couple of years.
It's been hot as hell here lately. So we're looking forward to some cool weather coming later this week. So what you got, man? What can I help you out with?
Hey, so, all right. So this year I started doing wholesaling full time. So this is what I do, but I've been having trouble with consistency on leads. So like I know how to close deals. I've closed 5 so far. I have cash buyers ready to go. I just can't pull in consistency, and I don't know where to keep going.
Okay. So is it that you're doing different activities every day and you can't get into a rhythm or like find out what you need to do on a consistent basis?
I would say so. Yeah, because like I do driving for dollars. I don't really have like leads coming in. Really, I've built off like relationships and like networking throughout the Columbus area. So that's really how I've done most of my deals.
Okay. So I'll shed what light I can with what you've given me and you can help me expand. Number one, first of all, you're in a wonderful area for wholesaling. Like Ohio is a heavy wholesale area.
Yes, sir.
You got good pricing, and honestly, Ohio is considered one of the affordable states. It was touch and go there for about 10 years. If you try to figure out, maybe we just leave Ohio. I got to be honest with you, I don't get into climate change or anything like that, but let's be honest, guys. It's getting warmer across the United States. You're 100%. Having more milder winters, right?
100%. Yeah.
If that pattern sticks, you're going to see a big uptick in your area because you can't afford a house. Like Florida's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. Florida, Texas, California. And eventually these people are, as long as they're not freezing the entire time, if they can get a house, 100, 150 grand, something like that, which is still doable up in your area, people will suck it up. The affordability problem is significant, and I do not see it being fixed anytime soon. So the funny thing is the same people that pushed Airbnb for the last 4 years,
yes, sir,
they're now going to teach you how to rent rooms out and do like, here's the problem. You're going to have the same problem doing that model as you did with the Airbnb because legislation will follow behind if it gets abused and people get hurt and people get crowded. So I don't think that's necessarily going to fix the problem. I think people are going to go to markets just like yours and go, why am I going to spend $700,000 a house in Florida when for $250 I can get the Taj Mahal in Columbus, Ohio, or whatever it is?
That's really
people are looking at like you can get land, like you can't get land in Florida anymore. Yeah, it's just getting ridiculous. So I believe the affordability is going to squeeze in piece, like Ohio, Pennsylvania is another big one. All your markets over there, because if you just go a little bit to the east, and I'm terrible with maps, but like Connecticut, it's like Florida all over again. So all indications point that people are going to seek out affordable states. They're going to find where you can live and make it more affordable. So that is excellent news. Number 2 is you said you've done 5 deals.
Yes, sir.
And how long did it take you to do the 5 deals?
It's been every couple months. So I did 3 within 3 months.
Is that 2024?
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to deliver some very good news for you. You pass what most people can't. So I've been in the wholesaling space a long time. Here's how I size people up if I even want to slightly even work with them.
Yes, sir.
I want to help everybody. Like, don't get me wrong. But being your business partner and helping you are 2 different caveats. Would you agree?
Yes, sir.
Like, we help children out in youth leagues, but like, I don't want an 8-year-old on my softball team because we're going to get killed.
Of course.
So most people struggle to get 5 wholesale deals done. End up like very honestly, 90% failure ratio. It's just the truth. Don't blame me. I'm giving you the stats. So why I like that you've gotten the 5 deals, because you've shown that you can stick anything out, because I'm sure you had a lot of curveballs and a lot of stuff thrown your way getting to those 5 deals, right?
So actually, I started this year. So I was a supervisor at UPS for 5 years. I started when I was 17. I did that, and then I wanted to jump into real estate. So my brother-in-law worked with a flipper. So he's flipped over 250 houses in Columbus, and I started working for him part-time, making like nothing. I was just like, hey, man, I want the experience. You know what I mean?
Got it.
So
Okay.
I jumped into wholesaling full-time this year. So I have the cash buyers lined up. I know how to do the transactions. I know how to get it from A to Z. It's just finding that original deal and actually getting it.
I got it. Okay. So you've done 5. That's the good news. So I already know you have what it takes to survive in this business.
Yes,
And
sir.
I use this as a gauge. I tell people all the time, my coach used to tell me on my wrestling team, you're going to have to pin 5 guys before I'll even consider you for a varsity spot.
Yes, sir.
And then he had to break the news to me. You got to beat the guy that's 10 times better than you. I'm like, how do I do that? You just practice, like you work. And so a lot of times, so Rick, I've done 2 deals. I go, well, reach out to me when you get 5. And I do that all the time to people because I want them to understand. I want to see if you can survive, because in 5 deals, how many deals do you think fell apart in those 5 when you did 5? How many contracts did you miss out on? Like,
I've had at least 10, 15.
there you go. It's a painful journey, isn't it?
Yeah, it hurts.
And here's the key is, it doesn't matter if you paid me $100,000 or I taught you for free, you're going to have the exact same experience. And I keep telling this people over and over. It's the only reason you guys pay these gurus big significant money, because it feels good and right to you. And you think it's going to like lift a burden off you. You're going to be just severely disappointed. So I know you can stick it out. So you're doing driving for dollars. How else are you getting leads?
Word of mouth, other wholesalers. I mean, that's really, I
Okay.
get a lot of inbound. I get some inbound leads from like Facebook groups and stuff. People I've already networked with and talked to. But other than that, like, if the deal doesn't make sense, I can't make it happen at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I got a lot of these are inflated, so I can't.
I got it. So do you like to do deals directly with the sellers?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you subscribe. So I have a theory. I have an acronym I use. It's called ODN. You ever heard it?
No, sir.
So it means you want to be off market, direct to seller, someone who needs to sell the house. Do you agree those will create the best wholesale deals ever, right?
Yes, sir.
So I didn't say MLS. I didn't say go daisy chain something. Those things are a nightmare, and you already know that. So
Yes,
if you want, you can follow the basics at freewholesaling.com. You understand how to do outbound marketing. That's knocking on doors, reverse driving for dollars, and pulling government lists. The reason I use that is I want to get people to 5 deals. Number 1, can you stomach this? The truth is, a lot of people can't do what we do. This is not easy. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
But it's not hard either.
No.
So you've got to get into where you get enough leads coming in that you can get it working. Here's the problem. If you go to a guru right now, they're going to tell you to do pay per click, pay per lead, which is basically about to be outlawed in January. And then they're going to like come up with all these fancy stuff, and it's going to cost you a fortune. And the minute you write a $20,000 or $30,000 check and you don't have an outcome, are you going to be pissed?
Yeah, 100%.
You're going to freak out. So
100%.
there's a better way to do it. The first thing I would do is, do you even attack government lists in your market?
So I actually just started within the last week.
So the first thing is keep doing the driving for dollars. Don't change it. Attack your government list, specifically code violations, pre-foreclosures, and tax delinquencies, and do the reverse driving for dollars. I get it. It's a pain in the ass. I never said it was going to be easy. Yeah. You can use dmzac.com. You can work with Deal Machine and integrate them together however you want to do it. But the idea is you need to get a few more deals under your belt and just see, you're going to have to do a little bit more outbound. And then what you can do is, I'd like to see you do 2 or 3 more deals. Now, you don't have to join Flip with Rick Plus, but I'll show you how to create inbound leads, which is every wholesaler's nightmare. But like, you don't have to go broke doing it. And I do a deal where I partner up with you. So like, you only pay when we make money together, but like, you've got to get the traction and get it going. So at some point in the beginning, everybody has to go outbound to get to your first 5 deals. You're a little bit stalled out. I would like to get you a couple deals by adding the reverse driving for dollars with the government list. Number 2, do Do you pull any type of list, or you do any type of cold calling or SMS, or do you do anything else?
I do cold calling, but I tried off the federal tax liens, but I can't seem to find the probate lists and the pre-foreclosures in Columbus. I've tried 100 different websites.
The pre-foreclosures you should be able to get straight from the county site.
Okay.
So, but that's an easy one. It's a public lawsuit. But the bottom line is, the idea is get you a little bit more activity and like get you up and running. And then if you want, are you using software services to help you out?
No, sir.
So how do you get phone numbers for people if you're going to reach out to them?
True People Search, cyber background checks. So
Pain in the ass? Pain in the ass?
Yes, sir.
So if you decide to go with XLeads, you don't have to. It's not a requirement. All the skip tracing is included in it. And it starts at $49 a month, even for the basic plan. Just throwing it out there for you.
No, yes, sir.
A lot of you guys don't understand skip tracing. We have solved your number one problem. Everybody wants to nickel and dime you and have you do it. You can pull 15,000 numbers. Verifiable. I've done it plenty of times, and you can do the whole thing in there. What's your time worth to you? Because how long does it take you to skip trace 100 phone numbers?
Hours.
Yeah. So if you could do it for $49. So consider that. I'm just giving you tools.
Yes, sir.
But I'd like to get a couple more deals. And if you join Flip with Rick Plus, it's a nominal cost. I think I charge $97. It's not a requirement, but when you do your first deal with me, I give you your money back. Like, here. And I let you in for 1 year. And then if you want, the best way for you is to get a couple more deals, 2 or 3 under your belt. And then you have to find an inbound marketing system so you don't drive yourself nuts. Here's the average wholesaler I work with. They do so good at outbound marketing, but they're like, Rick, it taxes every minute of my day. I can't keep this pace. And I agree with them. I go, you want to like make a little bit more balance? We're going to take a few steps backwards while we do this. You're going to keep the outbound marketing. I'm going to show you how to turn on inbound. And before you know it, I can double your lead count and give you a systematic way. Because the reality, guys, like, do you want to go knocking on doors and doing reverse driving for dollars the rest of your life? No.
No, sir.
And so at some point, would you give up a little bit of that money for them to call you and you vet them? Now, I know you can talk to sellers, and I know you know what a good wholesale deal is. We just got to go direct to the seller. So here's the game plan. Just add the government list, add the reverse driving for dollars with it, and then get it going. Get a couple more deals on your belt. If you want, join Flip with Rick Plus, and you can network with me 4 times a week. Okay. And then I'll show you how to do direct mail. I'm not going to charge you a dime. And if you want to be my partner on it, I have a program for people inside of Flip with Rick Plus. We do an amazing amount of deals, but we're partners. And as a partner, it is a different relationship. You have to carry your end of the bargain. I carry my, you know your market very well. I know how to market. And if we put them together, we split a few deals together, and then you're on your own and you can just knock it out of the park. And then in the future, you go, Rick, I got this apartment. I got this trailer park. I've got this commercial building. And as you grow, I stay connected with you. And that's how I really make my money, to be brutally honest with you. So,
yeah.
So why don't you add that just one more step, and then just get out. You're in a little bit of a stall, and I don't want to overwhelm you with inbound right now. So if you can give me like 2 more deals by the end of the year, reach out to me. I'll get you inside of Flip with Rick Plus. All you have to do is do 1 deal with us, and you get the whole thing. Guys, you understand, I've designed my mentoring program to make it free for the people that really want to do deals. Freewholesaling.com is to inspire you and go, listen, you have everything you need to do. You're going to have to do some self-help and some self-love, and then I'll kick you in the ass occasionally. You're right there, dude. You just gone backwards a little bit. Just get out of the funk, get it going, and just dive in. I'm not asking for 10, 20 grand from you at all. I'm just asking, take a little action, decide to do that. Come on inside of Flip with Rick Plus. We'll get to know you personally. We'll help you with your marketing plan. And then if you want to dive in and do the inbound marketing and partner with me, I do not fail with my partners. And if you don't follow what I tell you to do, I will kick you out. Because the idea is I don't make money unless you make money. So I have to really push you to make money. You don't understand the marketing piece. I've mastered it, but I don't know your market, and you've mastered it. So if we put our heads together, we can make a crap load of money together. And I'll take anybody up on this. My minimum requirement is they have to do 5 deals, because I need to know you can dispo deals and you're very good with the cash buyers. And keep in mind, as you grow, consider XLeads, because you can do everything in there. I can build you an amazing cash buyers list. You can do the skip tracing, the dispo, and have a very advanced CRM. and I can show you how to grow your business to the point. One of my guys that I taught the business, we're going on 3 years ago now from freewholesaling.com. He does 10 to 15 deals every month. He's like buried. Like he just loves it. And he helps me out with everybody. But I don't outsource any of my teachings or anything like that. When you're a partner, you work directly with me and Zach, and that's what we do. So just get out of that funk a little bit. Show me some spunk, get out of it. And then let's connect with it. Connect me on Flip with Rick Plus. I'll keep an eye out for you. And then hop on these lives. I would love to help you out. But like once you get in that, once you maximize your outbound marketing and you get inbound, now you are going to develop consistency. And it's one of the hardest things when you start out wholesaling. I get it. Because it takes so much effort to do the outbound. It's tiresome. And sometimes you guys just want to take a break. I get it. But remember, you go one more year like this, I'm not going to say you're on cruise control, but it gets a hell of a lot easier. And most people can't see past that 2-year window. They're only looking at today and tomorrow. And I get it. We just got to get you out of that funk a little bit, get a couple deals with these and do that. And then however you want to do it, like you can grow it, you can get it going. At some point, you're going to switch and do a little bit more inbound. If you're new, do not start out on PPC. PPL is going to be illegal. Don't even waste your time doing that. And for God's sakes, do not do an SEO. That's the last thing you need. You need to just contact sellers directly. Direct mail is one of the best ways to do it. It's legal, it's ethical, and it's extremely scalable. My direct mail, just so you know, I get it anywhere from a 5 to 8 times return, depending on the time of year. Okay. So if I put $5,000 into direct mail, 40 grand on a return. Now, when I start out, all I do is try to do a 2x return for you to double your money to show you the power of it. It takes a 3-month commitment to do that. So just finish the year strong. And if you want, join me. I would love to help you out. And this offer goes out to anybody on this live stream. It's what I do. I like working on wholesale deals. I don't like flipping students. It's a waste of my time. It is a cannibalizing feature, meaning I do it once and you're done with me. And then I got to go find somebody else. And eventually you run out of people to do it. Now, people who want to do deals together, it's an endless sea. I've got thousands of people who want to do deals with me, and I seek out the best. So if you want to get there, I'd love to work with you. I think what you do, I think you're in a great market. You're in the normal course. Just get out of the rut. And here's a little key, guys. December is my favorite month to wholesale. Always, hands down. Why? Because come December 14th, everybody takes their eye off the ball all the way till New Year's. Don't be that person. Just push. Spend time with your family, but you deserve to have a business. When everybody takes their foot off the gas, go crazy. And most people make decisions from Thanksgiving to New Year's. I've done more real estate transaction in that window of time than any other time ever wholesaling. And I never forget that. So a lot of wholesalers take December off. They're idiots. It is the best month to do deals. This is when people make decisions. They make life decisions, upgrade, downgrade. Let's get rid of that foreclosure. Let's get rid of that problem rental house. And you're in a great opportunity. So just pick up 2 deals by the end of the year. It's going to be a piece of cake for you.
So what would you recommend, like, amount to put into inbound leads? Because I mean, I have money put away, but I just didn't know where to put it when it comes to marketing.
So I've already told you, I'd like to see you do 2 more deals and set that money aside. So I'm going to just rip off. Go to mailingmastery.com. I share exactly my strategy that I use. I make it available to everybody. But here's what I tell people. You need to set aside 3 months of marketing expense for direct mail. Now, a lot of people, why don't you do just pay-per-click, pay-per-lead? Because you're going to have to pay 10 or 20 grand and you're going to be stressed out. So with direct mail on average, it's about $2,500 to $3,500 a month. We usually start you at like 2 grand. Then we do 2,500 and then 3,000, 3,500 depending. In 90 days, you'll get your first contract in. You'll know exactly what you're going to make with the return. And then we set you on a schedule and we show you how to do it, how to analyze your market, how many pieces you need to send out, and how to answer your phones. Once you get that, let me ask you, if you had to spend 3 grand just to get 1 deal and make 10 or 15 grand, would you be okay with that?
Yes, sir.
But here's the problem is people do direct mail. It doesn't work. I didn't get a deal. It is not an overnight success. After 90 days, I can make anyone look like a hero in direct mail. The question is, are you going to answer your phone? And are you actually going to dispo your deals? And if you'll do that, I can make anybody look like a rock star. The only problem is you just don't know how to do it. You don't have confidence in it. And I have got 18 years plus of direct mail. Yes, and I know the exact mail piece that works. Like I know it for a fact. I share it publicly with all you, mailingmastery.com. It's a simple offer postcard. It works to a charm, and it's cheap and it's not complicated. And then when you get really good, you'll start, like I have students send out 20, 30,000 pieces a month. They go, Rick, that sounds like a lot of money. They're making a crap load of money. Here's the catch. You don't want to start out doing this as a new wholesaler. A lot of coaches will tell you to do it. That's the worst way to do it. You've got to learn to talk to people and walk the talk of wholesaling, which you've already done. We just need to get you out of that rut. I think that direct mail would be perfect because I know your market works very, very well with direct mail.
Of course. So when it comes
to ship and answer the phones.
So when it comes to that, how do you know what houses to send them to? Are you just like mass?
So like I can't cover that all in this entire thing, but it's very. Go to Mailing Master. I share, like, I don't hold anything back. Every other guru goes, well, let's hop on a discovery call. I'll show you how to do it. It just means get your credit card out. I'm going to see how much money you got. It's all in there, dude. I don't hide anything. I do a lot of high equity lists and I sort them out, and then we come up with a target. And here's the secret. Here's how we come up with a number. You ready? We figure out what James's budget is. He's comfortable. I don't do that. It's your money. But I'll tell you if it's not enough. If you tell me $1,000, I can tell you it ain't going to work. So most people set aside between $7,000 and $10,000 to start a direct mail campaign. It's just the cost of doing business. Yes, once you do that, then we extrapolate how many pieces we can pull, and then we find the best data, and then we find the best areas you have the most confidence in, and that's how we do the pieces, period. And you want to start small when you do it, and you work your way up. You do not want to send out 10,000 pieces on your first one. You're going to be overwhelmed. And then the first time you figure out the system, you're like, oh, Rick, I got to spend money again. I go, yep, here we go. Here's the schedule. Do not deviate. And remember, you talked to me, James, about consistency. That's all I teach when it comes to direct mail. You just got to get the consistency in the outbound piece, and you're close to maxing it out. Once you max that out, then you go, Rick, I can't do anymore. I'm like, okay, we're going to click 3 buttons and show you how to do this. After 3 months, you will be able to do this in your sleep, and you don't need my help, and you don't need me in your pocket anymore. I would love to stay in your pocket, but the lesson is taught once you do the deal. You're like, okay, I get it. And then you have a relationship with me for the rest of the year through Flip with Rick Plus, and any deal you do with me, I just keep adding to your membership. It's that simple. So don't try to figure it out all at night. Just fix 2024 and then roll in and understand once you max out your outbound, I'm going to work with Rick and help out with the inbound piece. And then Rick's going to create problems for me. What kind of problems I create? What if you get 36 leads and you can't even get to them all? That's a great problem. What if you can't answer your phones? That's what my people have problems doing. And I want to show you like how to do it. It doesn't happen overnight. I've spent a lot of time doing this, but we just got to maximize outbound and then start some inbound with it. And guys, with X leads, with free Skiptracing, all this other stuff, there's never been a better time to jumpstart this right now for 2025. You got a plan there, James? You
said what?
You got a plan?
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man.
Don't overthink it. Just execute. You've done 5. I'm telling you, you are way ahead of the curve, way ahead of the curve. We just got to get you systematized and be consistent. Once you do that, guys, I love Ohio because it solves the affordability problem in the United States. So I think everyone's going to be coming to you in the next 4 years. So guys, jump on it now, because after that 4 years, I don't know what the future holds for the United States. It's not my problem. I know what I'm capable of, and I know what you guys are capable of. You have to take advantage of it, okay?
Yes, sir. I appreciate it so much. Rick.
Okay,
thank you.
I'll see you, man. Okay. I'm going to try a name. I'm not going to try to butcher it. So remember, I'm old, so if I say it wrong, don't get mad. Is it Mariella? Is that right?
Yes, you said it right.
Okay, good. How are you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Where are you calling from, and what can I help you out with today?
Calling from Orlando, Florida.
Ooh,
I met you at the Escape the Matrix event with my
awesome.
fiance, Steven.
Hey, am I different in person than I am on camera?
Sorry?
Am I different in person than I am on camera?
Definitely not the same.
Hey, are you the one that helped me survive walking through City Walk during the horror nights?
Yes.
So
that was crazy.
I gotta be honest. I called Zach. I go, how bad do you need me at this event? Because I'm like every freak. I didn't realize we did Orlando during it's horror nights. And so if you guys know Orlando, you got to go through you got to go through all the park entrances to get to City Walk. That's what a good marketer does. And I remember just looking, I go, there's no way in hell. And I called Zach. He goes, yeah, it's a nightmare. And I go, honestly, I didn't know which way to go. I was looking for help. And this lovely young lady out of the blue goes, hey, Rick. I go, my God, it's got to be divine intervention. I was literally going to head back to my car and like, and I don't skip out on stuff, but like I asked 3 people before I met you, I'm like, how do I get there? And they're like, no, go this. So I went up and down like 3 or 4 times and wasted 40 minutes. And then when I ran into to you guys, she guided me the whole way and got me through it. So I never had a chance to thank you. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course, no problem.
So what's going on? What are we talking about today?
Yeah, so I basically applied the tips that you and Zach gave me, and I finally got my first contract locked up
Honest. So
in
tell me where
Brevard
it came from.
County. Brevard County from an
Yeah.
absentee homes list.
Awesome. So
Yes.
how do you like the
So
Brevard market?
it's good. I feel like
It's
the
big.
contact rate is like higher, and then
Yeah.
I'm getting more of a traction. What I'm noticing though is that I just don't know what to do next, Rick. Like I have been calling cash buyers, like contacting them.
Mhm.
And I was watching a video of yours yesterday about the comping situation, how
Mhm.
like using the iPhone calculator, and I kind of did that with this.
You live and learn, you know?
Yeah,
I did all
yeah.
this
So
stuff
like,
too in the beginning. So like, I just try to give you guys life lessons because
yeah,
I've learned in life, like people like, so my entire time in school, teachers would like lecture to me, never sticks. But like, if you have me do something like, although I hated going to the board to do a math problem because I was never prepared. But when they made me go to the board, do a math problem in front of the entire class, it burned so bad in your nervous system. Like, I'm not going to get up there and be embarrassed like that again, even though I was. But something happens. So somebody tells you, and then it happens. So where are you at with the whole cash buyer situation?
I basically am just continuing to call lists that I have of cash buyers.
Mhm.
One of the guys that I met actually at the event, he's helping me out and sent me like a list of cash buyers from X Leads. So
Yeah.
that's been a blessing. So I've been like reaching people from there. And then also before that, I pulled from Deal Machine like a cash buyer list of like people that bought
Good.
properties
Uh-huh.
around that property that I have under contract.
Mhm.
And so far, I've just gotten like negative responses. Like I got someone or 2 cash buyers that want like way less than what I locked it up. One of them 10,000 less than what
Mm.
I locked it up, and another one for like 40,000 less.
Well,
So
yeah.
like, yeah, at this point I'm like, what do I do? Like, do I cancel the contract? The closing is December 20th. So I feel like I do have some
So how
time.
many cash buyers have you really talked to? Be honest with me.
5 maybe.
So talk to at least 5 more.
Okay.
So here's the thing, like, and I don't talk about this often because it's part of the learning curve in wholesaling. Nobody actually talks this. Cash buyers will work you, especially if you're new to the business. I'll fully admit I've done it. I'm not proud of
Yeah.
it. But when you have an inexperienced wholesaler, you can create such doubt that they don't even know if they're wearing underwear by the end of the conversation. They're like, you ever had someone that's so much above you, their whole job is to discredit you.
Yeah.
So, by the way, the entire guru community pretty much does this. So I find that most gurus in the wholesaling space, and you can verify this, they talk way over your head. Like you're like, what the hell are you talking about? Like I'm just trying to find a discounted wholesale deal. And you're talking about 1031s and like PPC and pay per lead and SEO. And like you have to do these advanced strategies direct to the agent. Can you just show me how to wholesale? Oh, no. We got to go behind the paywall to do that. So the challenge is when you deal with a cash buyer is you have to have very tough skin. So they're not like where homeowners beat you up. A good cash buyer, they can go one of 2 ways. They can try to build you up or they're going to break you down. There's no in between. For the most part, they'll try to break you down and create self-doubt. You can't let them penetrate you. Now, what you have to understand is you're going to get 2 types. You're also going to get intel. It's just data. And after a while, when I get a spreadsheet, I write down 10 cash buyers. If they all had something negative to say to the price, I might have to make a decision. Do I have to get out of this contract or do I have to get a reduction? But I gotta tell you, most of you weigh all your fears and your insecurities on the first cash buyer. It's just human nature. It's like, it hurts. After a while, you just get numb to it. They're just trying to get a massive discount on you.
And it being my first contract too, I'm like, I'm not going to settle with, okay, just talking like you said to those first 2 cash buyers.
No,
because I see
just
the
go
potential.
through it. But like, you're going to learn the journey of wholesale, because the second time it'll be much easier. So like, when you get really good at wholesaling, after a while, like, everything's a takeaway. I got it. I got 3 other people. Listen, if you don't want it, that's fine. It make my life easier. No. So I try to get my cash buyers. This is Marielle. All you need to do is find some sign of them to like chase you and want it. If everyone's like this, let me ask you, did any of them ask you, Mariella, what do you have it under contract for? Did any of them ask that?
No.
When they
Maybe
ask you that,
the first one,
you have got a 99% chance of failure. They're not your buyer. Let me ask you, when you go to Publix to buy a loaf of bread, do you ask Publix how much they paid for that loaf of bread? No, because you know you're not going to get the answer. You have to have the same mentality. I'm selling it based on the value it is right now, period. If the house is sell for $250,000, I'm offering at $165,000 and it needs 10 grand with a repair. Make me an offer that makes sense. If it works for both of us, I want to move forward with you. I would love to, but I have other people that want to look at the house. Let me know if you want to move forward and take a look at it. You constantly have to be pushing them forward or getting them out. Once they start attacking you, like instance, when I teach you, when you deal with a homeowner and you're going through your MCTP and they go, Mariella, what's the price? Just get to the price. You got a choice. You can either be an order taker at McDonald's, or you can reset your client and go, listen, I tell you what, for me to give you the best offer possible, you have to let me ask you some questions. Do I have permission just to ask you some simple questions so we can see if this is a good fit for you? Either you control them and check them, or you work for them. Cash buyers are 10 times worse. And just remind them, I have the deal. Leave your ego out of it and see if they'll chase you somewhat, and always be pulling off the table a little bit. If you bend over backwards like a realtor, they're going to hire a realtor and they're going to treat you like a realtor. So I would get 5 more and get your opinion. You're just new to it, and just explain, hey, this is what I'm offering it for. This is kind of the going rate in the area. It's a great deal. Let me know if you want to move forward. I have to make a decision on the buyer by this time. And that's it. Just get more information. Worst case scenario, you have to reduce the price or get out of the contract. Either way, you're going to get an amazing lesson from this, one way or the other. I don't know if you have the right price or the wrong price. Here's who's going to tell you. After you go through 10 cash buyers, you should have a very clear answer. Or like, what is their issue with the property? What is the sticking point that you can go back to the owner and go, listen, we missed this. I didn't know it had that. We need to like move forward. Always use your cash buyers intel to your advantage. Perfect example. I have a gentleman that I'm doing a partnership at JV right now through Flip with Rick Plus. They found a crack in the property. Freaked out. Nobody wants it. It's got a crack. I go, hold on, take pictures. Let's take a look at it. We found out the crack's just a little bit of settling, a little bit more than normal. I said, go back to the seller and ask for a discount. Now I'm telling you, I said, don't do this $10,000, $20,000 discount. Go for no. Tell them you want to get out of the contract. The seller goes, what do I got to do to get you to buy this house? Literally is what he said to us. And we went from a price of $155,000 to $85,000 using the go for no. Why? Yeah. Because we took the cash buyers. They thought they were sticking it to us. Here's the best part is that cash buyer offered us $150,000. We had it under contract for $155,000. And he goes, you're going to have to get a reduction. We went ahead and got the reduction. We found 3 other buyers, and now they want to buy it for $175,000. So he helped us get the reduction. So what my partner thought was a pain in his butt wind up being a blessing in disguise. So just use the cash buyer intel. Remember, they're either going to treat you well, which is rare, or they're going to try to create self-doubt in you. You never doubt who you are. I know who you are. You're not going to change. And then you take the data and then you assimilate it. And remember, data should be unbiased. It's like, this is the data. It's telling me the truth. I have to make a decision. I either have to get a reduction. What I want to use those cash buyers is, why do we need a reduction? Let them tell you how to do it. And then if you have to get a reduction, you have a valid reason for it. You're not just like,
Okay.
I just overpaid for it. And listen, Mario, sometimes you just overpay for a property. It's just the truth. It happens to all of us, but you can't let it discourage you, and you got to just keep moving forward. So just attack 5 more cash buyers, and I think you'll be fine.
Sounds
You
good.
there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Sometimes I don't
Thank
know when to
you.
talk. You got it. Like you're doing all the right things. Do not stop now. I know this creating a lot of self-doubt in you. This is the weird part of wholesaling. You just have to get through it. My
Yeah,
first deal,
something
I
that
barely made any money. I just got through the process. I'm like, I don't know if I can do that again. I literally said that when I first started wholesaling. So like I was in the same shoes you are. Just get through the process. Period.
something the seller mentioned, Rick,
Yeah.
that I mean, obviously with your example, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. A reduction can always be possible with deals, but she was like, hey, I just want to make sure the day that I got her to sign the contract, because it was the owner is a senior owner, and so
Uh-huh.
then the daughter's the one representing him, and the house right now is vacant. They live in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And she said, hey, I just want to make sure, like, as we were going through the terms of the contract, the PSA really quick, she
Mm-hmm.
was like, hey, like, I just want to let you know that if this is assignable, we're not going to do anything less than what we're signing for. And I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. I mean, it all depends, right? Because you mentioned there's possibly a leak or something like that, where we'll go through that later. Is that something that's like, okay,
I don't understand, meaning like, so if, what's your contract price with them?
175?
So they want to make sure they're getting 175, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's fine. That's how an assignable contract should work. I don't hide it from anybody. Like I'm fine. I love doing assignments. I'll do them up to like 125 grand. Like there's a limit on like some things where the underwriters will require you to take title, but yeah, you're fine. That's a normal conference. They're just telling you,
Okay.
like, Mariella, I just make sure you deliver what you promised to me. Now, if you're going to get a reduction, get it from your cash buyers, so it's not coming from you going, listen, I had somebody kind of look at the house and like some issues popped up that I was completely unaware of. Can we talk about them? And just that's how you do it. Because there's nothing worse than go back, hey, will you just drop the price 30,000? It's like, it's not like, it's an awkward conversation. So
Yeah.
you're better off having a reason for it. And then you'll learn going forward. You go, I know I got to get the right price up front because it'll make it an easier transaction when I sell it to my cash buyer. A lot of wholesalers these days, they don't go for no. They put it under contract. They get so excited with the yes. And then they go through weeks and weeks of torture. And I'm hoping that's not the case with you, but like just finish the process. Trust in what you're doing and keep moving forward.
Okay. So it's cool once I talk to the 10 cash buyers to maybe tell her, hey,
Yeah,
like
but like
mention the cash buyer, like, and the
get,
reasoning.
get the data. Just say, listen, I
Yeah.
had my partners look at it and there's some issues that I missed. Can we talk about it? And that just opens the door to it. Period. End of story.
Okay.
Look at pictures and stuff like that. There's got to be a reason why they're trying to low. And then you got like look at your market data and go, okay, did I do a biased comp or did I truly pick the right comp number? Or am I missing out on repairs? There's a lot of variables in this business. And this is part of the journey of wholesaling is learning each process to get through it. And every time you do it, you go further. The idea is you want to take even your first transaction all the way to the end, even if it's a failure. So you understand the process. Once you understand the pitfalls, it makes you a better wholesaler. It doesn't matter if you pay me 100 grand or I do it for free. Everybody has to go through the same experience. There's no exception. So trust in the process, keep doing what you're doing and be authentic and you're not looking to screw her, but like if the price doesn't work, you better tell her sooner than later, right? Make sure you get 10 cash buyers and then you go, okay, this is the reason why they're concerned. The roof is old and here's the cost to replace the roof. I miss that. If you want, you can put a new roof on. I can move forward this transaction, or we can just set up a discount. Which way do you want to go? And that's how I have the conversations. Not everybody takes a price reduction. It's not even 50-50. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You got to have a valid reason. Otherwise, you kind of look foolish. Like, let's be honest, right? Nobody wants to look like a fool, but sometimes you got to eat crow and just go, I screwed up. And then sometimes I show them why. I go, hey, these repairs I thought was 10,000. It winds up being 30,000. I can't, these numbers, like this economy is crazy. And I blame the economy and everything else. I go, listen, I want to buy it, but I can't move forward with that number. Then shut your mouth and listen for the words out of their mouth. what could you do? If they start giving you words like that, it means they want to get the deal done. If they're like, hey, okay, we'll just release you, then shake their hands and go, I'm going to fight another day. Yeah, I'd rather you do the honorable and respect thing than to try to drag. There's some wholesalers who drag people out and they ghost them and they disappear and they'll come back 3 months and then find a seller. Don't do that. Just get through it. I promise you, you will learn a valuable lesson through this. Either you're going to walk away with a check, could be small, could be big, or you're going to walk away with a lesson. And that lesson is going to pay you 10 times forward on the next deal. I promise you.
Yes,
you can't see it, but you have to finish the job. Don't stop. I know they're creating doubt in you, but you have exactly what it takes. So finish off on those last 5 buyers and you might surprise yourself. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Man. So guys, if you want more information on how to get started in wholesaling, especially if you want to get a jump start on 2025, do me a favor. Make sure you go to freewholesaling.com. I got it scrolling right there on the bottom. Don't forget that. And listen, if you enjoyed today's comment, do me a favor, smash that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And guess we have other channels. You can visit me at my Rick Ginn YouTube channel. My son has a channel and Zach Ginn. And join us on the Discord, ZachDiscord.com. It's a lot of fun. Guys, 2025, make it your year, but do not wait till January 1. Go ahead and get it started now. It's up to you. Where are you going to be in a year from now? It is completely up to you. You